Content warning. This whole episode contains discussion of the murder of 2 children, as well as horrible topics like child pornography and child molestation. Listener discretion is strongly advised. We're airing a bonus episode this week because of recent news around the murders of Liberty German and Abigail Williams in Delphi, Indiana. We've been digging into the background of Keegan Anthony Kline, a 27-year-old man brought up in connection with the case. In our last Delphi episode, we talked to a man who once considered Kline a friend. This week, we spoke with a woman who told us that Kline spent years abusing, coercing, and stalking her online, starting when she was 12.
On the evening of December 6, 2021, the Indiana State Police announced that authorities were looking into a social media profile called Anthony Shots. That's Anthony_Shots, in connection with the Delphi case. Specifically, authorities said that this social media profile operated from 2016 to 2017 on the platforms Snapchat and Instagram, that it stole photos of a known male model and luxury cars in order to catfish and attempt to meet juvenile females. They asked for members of the public with relevant information to come forward.
To recap, Liberty German and Abigail Williams were 2 young girls from the city of Delphi in Indiana's Carroll County. On February 13, 2017, they went for a walk along Delphi's forested trails. Libby posted an image of Abby making her way along the abandoned Monon High Bridge. A few minutes later, they ran into someone, a man. Libby recorded at least a portion of the encounter, but only a few minutes of it have been released. The man calls them guys and tells them to go down the hill.
Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill.
We don't know exactly what happened next, but police believe that the person you just heard on that snippet of audio killed Libby and Abby. Authorities released grainy images of the man taken from Libby's video, as well as 2 sketches that looked like entirely different people.
We only just recently heard about Kline's link to the case. Wish TV, an Indianapolis news station, published a report identifying him as the man behind the Anthony Shots profile. That report also revealed that on August 19, 2020, Kline was slapped with 30 felony charges around child exploitation and child pornography.
I began looking through Kline's social media accounts to see if I could find anything interesting. I also reached out to people he'd interacted with on those sites. Most haven't responded to my messages asking if they'd talk with us about Kline, and I can't say I blame them. But one person ended up getting back to me, a woman named Kayla. She told me she knew Kline and that she wanted to help.
So today, we talked to her on the phone. We're publishing our interview with her with minimal edits. A few times, you'll hear background noises. We apologize for that. Because of the disturbing allegations contained within this interview, we also passed a tip along to authorities through the Delphi email hotline, with Kayla's permission. My name is Anya Kane.
And I'm Kevin Greenlee.
And this is The Murder Sheet, a weekly true crime podcast.
Anya and I connected over the Burger Chef murders, a 1978 unsolved case involving the killings of 4 young restaurant employees. We don't just rely on skimming the headlines, we dive into these cases to bring you in-depth coverage.
We're The Murder Sheet.
And this is The Delphi Murders, Kayla's story.
Well, yeah, I know you were corresponding with Kevin about this Keegan Kline situation.
Yes, I was.
And we just...
It's unbelievable, to be honest with you, you know.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
How do you know Keegan?
I was 12 years old, and I had gotten a friend request from, it was a girl, and I was talking to her, and it was Keegan the whole entire time. He was, you know, getting just face pictures from me, and then this girl, which was Keegan, was saying, oh, well, you should come hang out with me and my boyfriend. And so then I got a message from Keegan Kline. And he was talking to me about the girl, and, you know, the girl was, I mean, she was pretty, but that's just how I started talking to Keegan.
What kind of things did he say to you in those first messages?
He was how you say it, perverted, and he talked to me in a weird way that I didn't feel comfortable even really talking to him. And one day, he said, well, I'm at Foster Park, me and my girlfriend. So I went to Foster Park because he said he lived in Galveston, Indiana. And, like, he went to different states. So he said he was in Kokomo for a little bit. I had my friend go with me, actually. And he was pissed off. I have not met him face to face. And he sent me a really, really, really shitty message and said, you know, I should cut your throat for this and watch you bleed out, blah, blah. Why would you bring someone with you? And snapped on me.
That's really horrible. Do you still have these messages that he sent you?
You know, I got married, and I got a whole new Facebook. It's under my Facebook page when I was 12 and 13 years old.
So he was sending these messages to you, threatening you basically when you were just 12?
Yes. Well, I would say I met him when I was 12. Not met him, but, you know, started talking to him on the internet. And then when I was about 13, 14 years old, you know, that's when he would get, like, really aggressive with, like, his words, and was just, I wish I did still have the messages, because my mind was blown. Like, you never even met me, and you're telling me all these things. It makes me sick to my stomach even seeing his mugshot on the news, because that is like, you can tell he looks a lot different. He used to send me pictures of himself all the time. And it's unbelievable. That's all I gotta say.
That's so horrifying. And you're 12. You're just a kid. How much older was he than you at that point?
He told me he was 17 years old when I was 13.
Jesus.
You said he was asking for, like, perverted type of things. Are you comfortable discussing any of those things he was talking about?
I mean, he would just tell me how beautiful I am and what things he would like to do to me, and that I should come stay the night at his house, let him take me out of state at age 14, and
Do Do you remember the name of the fake account he used to contact you initially? The account pretending to be a girl your age?
I really honestly don't.
You said this was happening when you were about 14 years old. This is kind of an ungentlemanly question, but can you tell me how old you are now?
I'm 21.
Okay.
So I've known him for quite a while.
Can you tell us, so he wanted you to meet him at the park, and then he got upset with you that you brought a friend. What
yes,
happened?
that was when I was 14.
What happened with Keegan and you after that?
Well, he blocked me for like 3 hours maybe. Unblocked me and was apologizing to me. Saying, baby, I shouldn't have snapped on you like that. That isn't me. And
Did you guys stay in touch after that?
yes. 'Cause I don't know if he did or not, but he told me, he said he kept sending me messages and messages and messages. One day I woke up to probably more than 25 messages from him. And he was saying he knows where I live and all this and that. And he said, I can kidnap you if I really wanted to.
That must have been really terrifying for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do believe, he could have done something. And whenever I did look at the sketch, because a lot of people were like, oh, well, that guy must have been, wearing a different coat. Keegan, I would say, is around 200 pounds, maybe more.
Has he gained weight in recent years, or is his mugshot picture that we've seen, is that pretty close to how
It is pretty close.
It's pretty close to how he looked when you met him?
Yes. He hasn't changed a bit.
When did you guys sort of, you mentioned you got a new Facebook and whatnot. When did you guys lose touch or stop contacting each other?
When I got married. And that was in 2019.
How did he react when you got married?
Honestly, I don't know, because I had blocked him on my page. So, he couldn't find out my new last name, or that's just what I had to do, was I had to block him on my Facebook.
Was that time when you met him in the park, was that the only time you met him in person?
Yes.
Did he communicate with you a lot via Facebook? You said sometimes he'd wake up and there'd be dozens of messages. Can you talk about what it was like, the messages he sent you?
It was creepy. It was really creepy. He would get mad at me for no reason because I wouldn't respond back quick enough or something. If it was only 10 minutes, he would say, oh, well, what are you doing now? Who you talking to? And I'm like, I was helping my mom.
When you were in that situation, did you at points feel like I need to stop talking to this guy, or what sort of?
There was many times, but I was scared because of, like I said, he said he knew where I lived and he knew my family, and
that must have been incredibly stressful for you throughout the whole time.
Yes, it was stressful, and it was more, I guess, heartbreaking because of what kind of mentality the guy had and the things that he could say he could do, and the things,
Do you, knowing his voice, right? Do you think he
Yes.
sounds like Bridge Guy, the audio that police released?
I don't think I have seen that video, but I will have to play that again.
Yeah, we'd be very curious to get your thoughts on that.
I think it's playing now.
Okay.
It's so creepy listening to that.
Does it sound like Keegan to you?
Yes. That's creepy.
Yeah, it must be.
It's horrifying.
It's awful to think about what might have happened to you if you'd not taken your friend with you to the park that day.
Yes.
Did he, during this time, did he ask for, like, pictures of you?
Yes.
Did you send any?
Yeah, I did.
Did the man in the video you just saw, did that look like Keegan?
I can't really see a close-up picture.
Uh-huh.
So I would have to see a really close-up picture.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm curious, when he was talking to you, did he ever talk about interests that he had?
In sexual manners, yes.
Would you be comfortable telling us what those were?
I mean, I really don't. He was just saying how he would like to have sex with me and how I bet I look underneath the robe, and he was weird stuff a creeper would say.
You told us about how he threatened you after you brought your friend to the park. Were there other times where he threatened you?
If I didn't send him pictures, no.
Have you talked to the police about any of this?
No, I have not.
At the time this was happening, when he was preying on you when you were a child, did you tell anyone about what was happening, friends or anything like that?
I did not.
I'm so sorry you had to go through all this, and it must have been awful to go through it and not be able to share it with anybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve this. I'm very sorry this happened to you.
Yeah. My mind is shocked.
How has all this affected you over the years?
In different kinds of ways. Yeah, it affected me really emotionally, and now it's got, like, I don't know what to think. This has affected me more than anything out of everything he's done to me, out of everything he said to me, because these are two little girls. They could have been my little nephew or, my little niece or something. I could only imagine what he would have honestly done to me if I was alone with him for 5 minutes.
And you said he told you that he was texting with other girls too?
Yes.
What would he tell you
He could have
about?
made them up.
Right.
He did make a lot of Facebook accounts just because I would block him on one whenever I was, getting a little bit older. I did block him, and then he'd always find a way to, message me.
What made you decide to bring a friend with you that day? Were you scared?
I had a bad feeling.
When you saw him and he looked different from his pictures, was that a surprise?
Yes. Yes.
Did he yell at you in front of your friend, or was he...
No.
No?
No. No, it was, no.
What was he like when you met him then?
Like, kind of sweet, but then whenever, you know, you got away from each other, it was all this and that on this, or bringing my friend. Because my friend was like, hey, my dad's texting, we gotta go. Because I think she had a weird feeling too.
Have you talked with your friend about this since all this news is broken?
She don't talk to me no more. I was actually thinking about messaging her today, see if she'll talk to me, but...
That's just... And that you guys met him in a park, right?
Huh? Yes.
Were there a lot of people around that day, or was it pretty quiet?
Yeah, it was pretty packed.
That's good. Did he ever talk, you mentioned he threatened you after that. Did he ever talk about weapons or anything like that with you?
He had guns, and he would show me pictures, like send me pictures of guns and shit.
Was he trying to scare you?
I think he was, like, to show me, like, you know, I got guns, so don't mess with me, blah, blah, you know, type.
After you got married and you blocked him, did he make other attempts to refriend you?
No. He actually left me alone.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. He left me alone. Because, like I said, you know, I changed my name on Facebook to my married name, and he didn't try messaging me or nothing. Now, there could have been other Facebook accounts where maybe he added us, and, you know, my husband was like, you know, who's this? And I didn't know, because he always made different accounts. So, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't send me a friend request, because I don't know, because we did have a lot of weird people send us friend requests.
Do you remember the last time you had any contact with him?
When I was about 18.
What happened?
I don't even remember our last conversation.
Is there anything out there about this guy so far that's been wrong, or like that you think people should know, or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I think people should know that, you know, he may have acted sweet and everything, but once you got to really know him, he was like another, like he was a demon, like, yeah, kind of like a ID show evil lives here.
Yeah.
He's evil.
Did he ever talk with you about his father or his sister?
No, not that I can remember of. He did mention that they lived out of state, and, you know, that's why he moved around states a lot, like I said, you know, because, you know, he would go see his father and his sister, but he never told me where. He would just send me pictures, but I think he got them off Google, because I know what real pictures look like and what Google looks like, and I'm pretty sure he sent Google pictures, like, you know, just fake cars all the time, fake houses he said he was in. Yeah, cars.
Did he ever tell you, like, how he earned money, or like what his job was?
He never told me how he earned the money. Never. I don't even think I asked that. I didn't want to know.
Did he ever share his, like, music with you?
Nope. He always sent me pictures of money, and he would say, well, you could get this if you come live with me. And
can I ask you, have you since all this stuff is coming out, have you told your family and friends about this connection?
I mean, the only person I have really told, was my husband, because, I'm sure he wants to know how I know Keegan Kline, because all these people are messaging me. So he's really the only one that I've told. And I said this guy was he was obsessed with me, and I don't know what it was. It was creepy and weird, and, I told my husband about who Keegan Kline was.
What did your husband make of it all?
He just thought it was crazy.
I'm so sorry you went through this. I mean, it's just, it's like
it's terrifying. It is, especially when, you're seeing him on the news, and then the drawing, and it's still mind-blowing to me. Like, I can't. I can't explain it.
It must be really
He tore a lot of people's lives up. I know that much.
We tried reaching out to the friend who Kayla says accompanied her to the meeting with Kline. We have not yet heard back from her. We'll add that the Indiana State Police put out a press release today. We'll link to that in our show notes. It's the same vague word salad that we're used to. Perhaps they're truly onto something with this Kline lead, and the end is near at last in this investigation. Or maybe they just want it to sound that way. In any case, even if it turns out that Kline is in no way connected to the Delphi murders, this story grows darker and darker every day.
Thanks very much to Kayla for speaking with us. We really appreciated her taking the time to share her story with us. If you have any information that could help solve the murders of Libby and Abby, please contact law enforcement. You can call the Delphi Homicide Tip Line at 844-459-5786. Tips can also be submitted online via abbyandlibbytip at cacoshrf.com.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Murder Sheet. As always, thanks to Kevin Tyler Greenlee, who composed the music for The Murder Sheet, and who you can find on the web at kevintg.com.
To keep up with the latest on The Murder Sheet, please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Murder Sheet, and on Facebook at msheetpodcast, or by searching Murder Sheet. If you enjoy listening to The Murder Sheet, please leave us a 5-star review to help us gain more exposure. And send tips, suggestions, and feedback to murdersheet@gmail.com. Thanks so much for listening.